Welcome to the show. I am excited to have special guest Gert Mellak on the show. Gert, welcome to the show.
Hey Jeff, thank you so much for having me. It's going to be
You
great.
you are so welcome. So let's dive right into your hidden edge. I
Mhm.
think it's a unique one, but
Mhm.
one that probably needs to be leaned into more. And it's this idea of doing things that are non-scalable and specifically one-on-one conversation. So, one, how did you really uncover that hidden edge? And then two, why is it so important in today's society?
I think it's really important because we tend to over automate everything. So when I think back when I started out as a freelance SEO, one of the first tools I got was an email automation software
Okay.
because I was just trying to get leads and send them automated stuff, so didn't have to worry about it. And the bigger my company grew, we're now an SEO agency of 30 people. The more I discovered the value in having one-on-one conversations, and especially as an agency, what sets us apart is that we have an extremely good understanding of our client's situation, where they want to go, and this is necessary to match them to our skill set. So if I have a certain skill set, I have experience, I'm good at what I do, I get results for people, I need to really know where you are and where you want to go in order to apply all my skills to your business and come up with the best possible solution. And if you shortcut it because you just send automated stuff, you just send offers, clients sign up, you just do the normal process, follow the normal standard operating procedures exactly the same way for every single one, you're missing out on a huge potential. And this is where one-on-one conversations have really, since I started out, been one of the most successful things. I just didn't realize it until quite late in my career.
Okay. So you started out with email automation. You were doing some other things. You grew from just yourself to a 30-person agency. What were some of those pain points that you were experiencing? And then you just alluded to it. When did you realize that, hey, it's more valuable to have these one-on-one conversations than automate absolutely everything? Take the time and build that know, like, and trust factor. Make sure your clients understand that you value their relationship that you have with them. So what were some of the pain points that you experienced? And then when was that moment where you said, and we've got to lean into this?
I think we probably shifted a little bit back and forth. So when we started out and I had a handful of clients, everything was just by definition one-on-one. I
Okay.
just really didn't realize at the same time as I had really good one-on-one conversations, I tried to have my automation keep bringing me clients. So at some point, this shifted from a handful of clients who got really good one-on-one attention to more clients where the attention was definitely taken back a little bit. The team was growing. We had more people engaging with our clients, not only myself. So this was just a little bit of a change. And then I wondered, why aren't we getting so good results anymore? We were getting really good results. One of the first clients, we took them from 2 to 6 million euros revenue every year, increasing year after year. They've been with me for more than 10 years now. And then other clients just jumped off after a few months because they didn't get the results, didn't get the attention apparently that they were really looking for. And at some point, I asked myself the question, what was different now? So what was different to having like 20 clients maybe versus 4 or 5 clients? What was the difference? And the difference is those conversations. The first clients, I arranged a monthly meeting with them in person. This was then back then when we were a local business agency, physical in-person visits all the time. I arranged those visits because I just wanted to make sure they were aware of the process, the progress we were making. I created monthly reports for them. We did a lot of onboarding meetings in order to understand what they wanted, etc. And this resonated really well, but it's also then translated into really, really good results because we were able to pick them up exactly where they
Mhm.
were, and then take them along the way essentially, and make sure that we apply our skill set in lead generation, in SEO, in web um, web development, conversion optimization, etc., to where they actually wanted to go.
Okay. So that discovery, that discussion, those in-person meetings actually then transferred over to amazing results that they got, right? So
Absolutely.
as you discovered that, as you thought through, okay, I've got something here. There's something when we go through that process. Then we went to 20 clients, and some of those newer clients coming on board weren't getting the results, and they weren't staying with you for as long as the other clients
Mhm.
were. When did you make that shift that we need to have this part of the process for every single client that comes on board, if that's the case?
It was definitely a gradual shift where I just said,
Okay.
okay, there are new clients in, and so let's try it a little bit more personalized. Let's personalize the onboarding. Let's personalize like the kickoff, the strategy development. So we now right now when the client comes in, we have the entire team. That's usually 5 or 6 people working on every single project, get together and have a conversation as if they were talking to the client. Not everybody talks to the client, but they have a very, very good understanding just from my conversations with clients where they want to go. If they have questions, I have enough understanding of the conversation that I can answer in my client's name, most of it. Sometimes we reach out to get additional details, but usually I try to get my understanding to a level where I could be an employee in their company and just have been a part of their meetings, etc., and have a really good understanding about the company culture and the goals where they want to go. So I can then, with my team, develop a strategy that actually has a chance to get them where they want to go. And this is a big difference with other agencies that I know where you just pretty much a number. You talk to an account manager and you don't get to talk to real people who know how strategies need to be applied. And you just feel like processed rather than taking seriously. For me, it's really important that everybody's free to leave. We don't hold anybody down with a long-term contract here. But for me, it's important that people at least have the feeling that we have done a really, really good job trying to understand their business and developing what we think best strategy in order to get them closer to their goals so they actually make progress.
Gotcha. And I mean, just in my experience, what I've seen, I've been pitched on Facebook Messenger, I've been pitched on Instagram, I've been pitched on LinkedIn, every social channel you can think about. I've been pitched without even a one-on-one conversation, without them even trying to understand who I am, what I'm about. Uh, I've seen it everywhere, and I know a lot of people are also getting those same sort of messages, and it's all to your point. You're just in this process, and they're just going after numbers. They're not even thinking about the individuals. So your approach obviously is a little bit different when it's, hey, I want to make sure we're an extension of your team, of your organization, right?
There you go.
So that being said, I would assume client retention has been very strong. How has client retention, when you've had this one-on-one process, how has that been for your business?
Very good, actually. Very good, actually. So we have clients who have been with me up to 16 years straight, just renewing month after month, and they really boil this down to these one-on-one conversations. So what many companies out there don't get when they talk about scaling and automation and all those things is that they forget the lifetime value of a customer. They
Mhm.
just think, okay, it's normal for SEO agencies when they talk with other agencies. It's normal to keep clients around for 8 months and then they leave, and then you're always selling, always trying to bring new people in because clients leave after 8 months unless you get like extraordinary results. Maybe they then get 12 months. For me, it's if we can't keep a client for 3 to 5 years, I think we probably did something wrong
Okay.
because there's no reason for a client to leave if you apply a methodology that works for them and they understand it. They understand that this works for them. They understand that this is heading in their direction. There is no reason for them to leave if they're getting results. And if you have in those one-on-one conversations, frame it the SEO process specifically correctly. And look, this is a long game. It's not something where you start 1 month and next month you have a return on investment. It just doesn't work with this with SEO. But it's also back again to those one-on-one conversations where you say, look, this is what we do. These are the results we're getting for clients similar to your business. It took them 3 months here, it took them 6 months there, but now this is positive. They have been doing this for 5 years. See, look, these are the results. These are the next steps. You just have this time to walk every single person through their their reservations or their thoughts really when it comes to their decision making process. I was just on a call with someone for an hour who might be joining our program. They have a very unique situation, right? There's a very unique situation. This is a person that has been creating content for longer than the internet exists, even from print
Okay.
on, really. I've never talked to a person so experienced. But you can't figure this out with an automation email, and you can't figure this out with a 5-minute discovery call. It just doesn't work this way. And this is where I'm just so fond of those things that scale. So this person literally told me that he had been talking to a lot of SEO agencies, but here finally he felt understood. He felt that someone was interested in his particular situation, which wasn't easy. It's not an easy situation he's in. He needs to make some tough decisions, but he definitely got the feeling, which was the ultimate goal of this call, that somebody understood where he was, made some sensible suggestions, and he left the call better than he started it. And this was really the goal. And this might be a client of ours or not, might come back in a year or two. We have this sometimes, but at least they saw, okay, there's someone taking me seriously and somebody really picking me up where I am and showing me the way out of my situation.
So you're listening, you're hearing, you're meeting them where they're at. I would also say playing the long game, right? Because you just said, hey, it might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen in a year or 2 years. But by having those powerful one-on-one conversations, you're building that relationship. And I would say, just personally, I feel like it's lost out there. Social media has us all connected, yet even more disconnected than ever. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you, because I think it's so important for people, not only in the SEO agency business, if you're a business owner, having more one-on-one conversations, understanding where your clients are at, meeting them where your prospects are at, taking them through the process, that's incredibly powerful because it's unique to what's out there. And I would say the other piece is, you mentioned client's been with you for 16 years, month over month. So you just do month over month agreements, and he's here, that client's been there 16 years. That's a great testament to the value of work that you put out there and put into the marketplace. So, in a one-on-one conversation, what are a couple things, if let's say I'm somebody that is just sending messages, not even caring about the person, what's a way I can shift and be maybe a little bit less focused on the scale game and more focused on the relationship building game?
Right. I think one thing before we jump in here is really what you mentioned, this long game. If you are really short-term focused, you don't have time for one-on-one conversations. I think this is probably where everything starts. If I launch a campaign or an outreach or connect with people on LinkedIn, and I need, just based on my strategy, this immediate return on investment, I absolutely cannot do this process, right? I cannot do this, but I'm also not going to get the same customer lifetime value, right? So everybody needs to find their strategy. If you play the long game, if you find the value in relationships, as you say, in relationship building, and this is really spread across years, then definitely this is possible, right? I think in a one-on-one conversation, I try to get people to talk, right? So the guy before, I just asked him what his business model was. So how are you making money with your website? And then he pretty much explained me his business in 25 minutes. So in 25 minutes, I had a really good understanding about 3 different sales channels, how he did his marketing, how he actually made money, which channel made money, which channel didn't, and why. And he pretty much explained me 20 years of website history, right? So I take a lot of notes. It's just my way of processing information, but I then can also refer back to this when this is a client that comes in, or maybe a year later they come in and I have my notes from this call and can pretty much brief my client on my team and confirm with the client if this is still the same situation. But very often open questions are really good. And if you try to listen from a client's perspective and say, okay, I'm trying to embody this client when I listen to them, and say, okay, what am I hearing? I'm hearing he's struggling. I'm hearing he's overworked. I'm hearing he's overwhelmed with 2,000 different articles and doesn't know which one to optimize, right? I'm hearing that he doesn't know, but he suggests certain things. So maybe we can do some more tracking and really make this a little bit more data driven, and then gut feeling driven. And I'm hearing a lot of experience here. I'm hearing he wants to make sure he shifts sales channels, and these are like the things that just come out of the conversation. I had a one-on-one conversation with a client once here in Madrid, where the client just dropped an information that one of his competitors was going broke. So in the conversation, while he was talking, I reserved the competitor's domain name, and on the weekend I built a website for them, and this has been now a 6-figure business for 8 years straight. So this is not something you're going to get out of an automation. This is not an information I would have normally had as an agency, because I'm not aware of which competitor might go broke and which one is taking over another one. It's just a one-on-one conversation again. And this is where I just say, okay, whatever other companies don't want to do, this is the first thing I'm all for. So there was no SEO agency wanted to do link building. We were the first link building website and link building service in Spain, right? Nobody wanted to do this. We were doing it for the other agencies. Nobody wants to do one-on-one conversations. It's the best thing ever. We have figured this out, and we have automated the process, not the conversations, to make sure that we have those, keep track of those relationships we build. There's definitely a process around it to make this as much as possible scalable. And you don't forget about people. You keep the information, keep track, feed this pipeline essentially of people you're in touch with. But yeah, whenever there's something nobody wants to do, there's a big potential. It's just my experience.
I love that fact, right? Is when people don't want to do something, you're going to dive into it because that's an advantage that you can leverage. I also love how you said those examples of conversations you had. And I would say you did a great job of listening in those conversations so many times. And I know this was a fault back when I was in my early years of marriage, right? My wife would talk and I'd always want to be fixing the problem. I'm not listening, right? Your mind's already running to a solution where that's a learned approach as well in those one-on-one conversations of just, I'm just going to get curious. I'm just going to listen. I'm going to jot notes down. I'm not going to offer a solution. I just want to learn rather than problem solve. And I think that's a great point just to call out, because so many times when we get in those conversations, if we're not aware of that fact, we're jotting something down and already thinking of a solution, and we miss, hey, the competitor's going out of business, or we miss this other nugget that is there, but we're not truly listening, hearing what they're saying and learning from it rather than creating a solution.
Absolutely. I think a good mindset to be in is like a doctor's mindset. When you listen to this conversation, I can't go in as a doctor and just say, hi, prescribe my therapy, prescribe the medicine, and now everything is going to be fine. It just doesn't work this way, right? I need to get to know this patient. I need to know where it hurts. I need to get the story. Do they sleep well? Do they eat well? Do they this? Do they that? In order to then come up or make a match between my medical skill set and their particular situation. And I think this is just where I'm saying very often that if there are two brains in one conversation, there should be a better outcome than if there is only one, right? Tomorrow I'm going to see another client here in Spain. We're going to kick off their situation. I have no idea about their industry. Honestly, I have no idea. But I've set aside an hour tomorrow to learn as much as I can about their competitors, about their situation, about how they grow, how they operate, what kind of clients do they have, what services they want to grow, what product lines they are going to create, how they want to scale. And then we are going to match this with what we can do for them. And so, okay, look, this is something we can do. This is something where you need another agency. This is something you should be doing, or we need from your end before we can step in, just to really make sure what kind of capacities do you ultimately need to move forward, and then divide this up and say, okay, where do we have the industry experience be an important part of it, and where can we actually leverage our experience in digital marketing, in lead generation.
Gotcha. So doing some homework, doing some due diligence to learn and again, get curious, so that one-on-one conversation is impactful. And they, again, get that warm and fuzzy feeling because they know you've done the research and you've got your ducks in a row and you're ready to rock and roll. So appreciate that story as well. Gert, I've loved the conversation. I think it's such a lost hidden edge that people could leverage and move into, right? Those power of one-on-one conversations. Mm-hmm. Where can people find you if they want to look you up?
Yeah, it would be great. Over at seoleverage.com, there's a button where you can book in a call, which is going to be a one-on-one conversation with me, where we just explore how your business is working, get to know each other, and usually come up with some sort of action plan that would make sense for a business, and see if there's a way to help.
Awesome, Gert. I appreciate you bringing on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Jeff. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. Rise, fight, love, repeat. Get after it, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to your Hidden Edge podcast. You are now part of the movement, part of a tribe who's on a mission to uncover their hidden edge. We're stronger together, so please share this. Show up with one person in your network that you want to help. Together, we can empower others, and connected, we can make a dent